Hello, this is Andal Lincoln, and I'm here to deliver to you an argumentative speech on the hypothetical scenario in the Mario World universe. Um, Imagine every power up in the Mushroom Kingdom turns users into agents of chaos. The stable world of the franchise as we know it collapses. So, where would you run? Um, the thesis of my speech is that Isle Delfino offers superior protection over land-based kingdoms like Sarsaland because the ocean neutralizes power-up threats. Believe it or not, but this scenario is not canonical. It is only considered in some of the fanfictions in the archive of our own. I, as a person close with the pop culture, um, I am interested in the hypothetical scenarios and our abilities of people and the abilities of people to exercise and simulate them, considering what are our options even if these things are unlikely to happen. So, first and foremost is our need. Imagine that the power-ups are here and different from the standard Mario franchise, where they would be usable only for Mario, some Koopas, maybe other or maybe other OG NPCs and player characters. If these power-ups were available to anyone and if these power-ups were to carry a strange effect of turning their users into carriers of chaos, these are less predictable and destructive to the hierarchy of the world build of the Mario franchise as we know it today. So we got the drill mushrooms. These things would give the power-up users the plague, the underground infiltration. The drill mushroom burrows through South Earth. Sarsaland pipe networks become highways for plague spread. And here, with the drill mushrooms, they don't even need the pipes to travel. So the underground becomes even more accessible to plague carriers. What about air? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are more than 10 power-ups this Grand Flight. There is Recon Suit, Cape Feather, and etc. The ground quarantines are to be useless. And the surface, the mountains, the ravines, walls of the massive castles. There are overwhelming powers as mega mushrooms. Their users can demolish walls and mini mushrooms. Their users will be able to travel in the smaller spaces as vents. The elemental flowers, especially the users of elemental flowers would be able to overcome the security measures on the castles as the guards, toad guards, if these toad guards aren't yet turned. On the underground infiltration, I'm here to reference the Dinsdale his article on the IGN, the Gamers Entertainment Network, everything announced at the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Direct, Nintendo Direct. The speech was made. The material was made on the August 31st, 2023. It explains the mechanics and limitations of power-ups as drill power-up, which can be used not only to burrow underground, but also through some objects. And on the all three of these fatal vulnerabilities, underground infiltration, aerial invasion, and overwhelming powers, I can quote the Nintendo developer, the Nintendo official site, as the developer Volume 11, Super Mario Bros. Wonder Part 1. It is on the Nintendo official site, and this article has been released on October 17th, 2023. Newest game Mario Wonders developed more creatures, scrolling worm tubes, and incomprehensibly giant snowmen. These entities can add uncertainty element to other biomes in the Mario World mainlands. What if these creations were to be able to use the power-ups and become the carriers of power-up plague? Or what if these creations were able to accidentally or consciously assist the power-up users to make the downfall of Mario franchise regime even easier? Well, luckily there is a hope in the end of the tunnel. It's light in the end of the tunnel, which is hope. There are ocean boundaries. These create natural power-up suppression. What is surrounded by water boundaries? The soft block. Except from the mainland, the Sarasa Land Kingdom, there is an independent small system known as Isle Delfino. This island presents us with three advantages. It has the controllable entry port, one magical airstrip, finite beaches, all observative, no underground pipe connections to mainland, complete isolation, unlike Sarsland porous networks. On the Isle Delfino, there is alternative power system. There are shine sprites instead of traditional power-ups. These are possible resistance for the natives. And last but not least, the water softlock. Water power-ups fail. Flight power-ups fail over the open water. There are no thermal updrafts. As said by Pekarsky, as in the Crane Soar on thermal updrafts behind cold fronts as they migrate across the sea. In the Proceedings of the Royal Society B. Biological Sciences, research paper volume 291 in 2020, that was published in 2024. There are less thermal updrafts over the water than there are over the land. This supports the water neutralization point. It's more of a challenge to glide and fly over water than it is over the land. You see. And as stated by Shebi in how Mario Bros. Wonder lays homage to past as it expands in new dimensions for the Game Informer media website on October 6th, 2023. There are over 57 power-up types in the Mario games franchise. Over the 40 years, these have been introduced to us. Many of the power-ups are useful. If land fails, the great part is that nearly all of them are soft-locked by the water barriers. So it means that fire power-ups extinguish. The power-ups, those are irrelevant to floating or gliding, are making the player vulnerable to the water. They will drown eventually. And the ice flower concern, it requires the miles of sustained freezing in tropical climate. It is very visible from the coastal finite beaches, and it is a slow process of keeping this ice frozen. This is our satisfaction. Now, for the visualization. While in the Sarsa land, the unaffected may close surface checkpoints, the drill users will eventually merge inside through pipes or by surface. All four kingdoms fall. Survivors flee to the mountains with nothing, where they'll be probably crushed by the giant snowman. Meanwhile, here's the opposite. The Isle Delfino. The magical airstrip closes at first reports of the plague on the other external coasts and territories. Coastal patrols watch infected creatures attempt to cross in the ocean, with them all failing. The creatures. Delfino becomes a refugee, then the base for reclamation. Maybe they start working on some vaccine. Let's hope for that. Okay, here is our action. What to do? You should relocate to Isle Delfino if settled hierarchy of Mario World is favored by you. If not, stay, and you can be turned into evil, overpowered versions of yourself. But trigger warning: self-consciousness in the turned, in the affected creatures is yet to be proven, unfortunately. Well, yeah. Our conclusion is: when power-ups became weapons, the greatest defense isn't a stronger castle, but water. Trust water, as it is a trivial yet superior softlock to vault building. Choose Isle Delfino. Until out. And the sources I mentioned here are Shebi Pekarsky, Dinsdale, and Nintendo official website. Thank you.